Aloha. I was listening to the conversation that you guys left me out of, but I was actually here listening, about the home play from last week. Anybody do it? Oh, look at that. See, that's why you guys showed up on the session this week. Everybody that didn't show up there, watching the replay going. I don't need to say any more, right? If you didn't do it, if anybody didn't do it, there you have it. So, you crazy ass people joined me in a program about self-love, which means that you must be ready to dive in to some extent into self-love. Yeah. Who's getting a sense more and more that it really might be everything? You know, and then you look at your fucking bank account and you say, yeah, but that's not it. Or you look at that empty place on the bed beside you, or that fucking jerk in the place that you wish was empty in the bed beside you. Just saying. And you say, self-love? All right. I'm in no rush today, and we do have awesomeness to cover. What I really want to do is connect with you. Like, if we connect deeply and fully today, there ain't that much to say necessarily, though there's plenty we can say and plenty of fruits we can pull out from the saying. What I really want to do to start with is I want to hear from you. Oh my God, he's talking to me. I want to hear from you about last week's session and about the home play that I gave you to do, the process of doing it, what it's been like for you, what's come up for you, and what's coming up for you. And I dare say that if you are playing full out, you got plenty. And if you don't got plenty right now that you can say, then you just go back and do the home play a little bit deeper, because I did say do it, then revisit it every day, right? So, look at Rosemary greening up. Love to see that. Self-love, baby. I see some people breathing. Karen. She's not the only one. I'm just noticing. So, who's first? I had a feeling about you, Rosemary. I really did. All right. Who's willing to give Rosemary 100% presence? Anybody besides me? Because I'm going to be listening to this. 100%? What if she says the thing? What if we all be the dog? And what if she says is the thing? Is that the key in the door? All right. Oops. What you got, Rosemary?
The main thing that I got from doing the home play was about how much of the things that I had been chasing, had I loved myself unconditionally, they wouldn't have been necessary, because everything is in that self-love. And all the things I was chasing were outside validation or outside recognition or appreciation or all those other non-love things that self-love gives me.
The minute she started, her sister was going, because nobody knows better, right? Then, okay. So that is totally beautiful to me, Rosemary, and I'm not done with you yet. I don't know what we're gonna do next. I wanna play with you for a couple minutes on this. So listen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, aliens, every one of us. Life fucking sucks until it doesn't. And, you know, I get to see all sides. I get to work and play with people who have been in such deep, tormenting hells that it's all they can do to get through a day. Anybody ever been there? Anybody ever been there even for a day or two or a week or a year? Yeah. Oh, here she comes. Don't say anything. Oh, hi, Jill. Yeah, we've all been there. We have all been there. Anybody who ain't been there, just, I'll see you tomorrow. Because this is the way life works, right? And life sucks until it doesn't. And what is it that's sucking is that we're missing the fact that we already have it all. And so we're chasing endlessly things that we think are going to lead to what we want. Secretly, though, hiding from ourselves, we know that shit is not gonna deliver. You know, the Christmas morning, we don't know, Rosemary, we don't know how much of our lifelong misery was from feelings that we had when we opened up that piece of shit on Christmas morning after we had been excited for 3 months thinking that it was going to make us cool, make us sexy, make life fun forever. And we open it and we go, this? Now, I've asked this question before. I'm going to ask again, who can relate to this feeling of waking up on birthday morning or Christmas morning or whatever, and mommy, daddy, Santa Claus, or the fucking Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, whoever, brought that thing that we wanted most, and oh my God, I got it, holy shit, and we're ripping it apart, and 5 minutes later, 5 hours later, or 5 days later, we're going, it's brokenhearted feelings. They lied to me. And I mean, you remember the commercial? You know, remember the Captain Crunch commercial when they showed the kid that, you know, had that toy? All the girls were looking at him. All the boys and girls were looking at her like, woo, because she had that thing in her hands. This is no small thing. This is no small. This is the roots of many things. So Rosemary, you're one of my friends that actually invested the time and energy into watching Century of the Self, right? Did you do that? Okay. Did you find who has watched the Century of the Self so far? Who has seen it? Okay. Can't recommend it highly enough. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Somebody that's my friend, please share a link at some point. You can share it in the group, share it on this call. No, don't share it on this call because I don't want you to run off. Somebody share it in the group, okay? You know, I'm not much on notes, but you guys can make a note for that. And yeah, I see you, Rich. It's going to be Rich. Okay. Either that or he's going to make it look like it was him and he's going to have Kate do it because she's awesome. Okay. So, Rosemary, did you consciously notice doing the home play, or now that I've brought up Century of the Self, when you look at what you just said, do you see either, how would I say this most helpfully? All right. Let me check in real fast before I go any further with Rosemary. You know who I'm talking to, right? Everybody knows who I'm talking to? Okay. Everybody knows this is for you. Everybody. And if you don't feel right now, well, this is so for me, are you willing to consider the possibility that it might be for you? Okay. So Pamela and Stacy, real quick. Century of the Self is a 4-part documentary that many find very miserable to watch. It's not like a modern slick, you know how, like, I don't watch TV, but modern slick stuff, every once in a while I see accidentally a commercial or a piece of something. And everything today is like chopped into 3 to 15 second snippets of video because nobody has an attention span, right? And it's all booms and explosions and wows and bams and surprise faces to keep us fucking entertained and hooked on their dumb shit. Back then, and a little bit today, people actually put out content that, you know, You actually had to be present and think and be aware to absorb. And the Century of the Self is one of those things. It doesn't spoon feed you, and it actually requires some thought and reflection and consideration and awareness, a lot of presence while they're making really large points. And on this little sequence of videos, almost 4 hours of video, they share how Sigmund Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, who many say was a hell of a lot smarter than Sigmund Freud, who was one of the most famous psychiatrists of all time, right? International influence. Edward Bernays basically programmed the planet and taught government leaders and supra-government leaders, the ones who run the real government that created the illusion of a government for us, the real people, you know, with the power, even though you have all the power, don't make any mistake. It looks like they do until we wake up. Okay. They created psychological structures to completely brainwash us into being utterly fucking miserable so that they could show us what we need to buy in order to be happy. These are the genes that will make your ass look amazing even if you don't have any ass. So these are the genes you absolutely, but if your ass is big, we have another type of gene that makes your ass look not so big, and then you can be happy. But you won't be happy without them. And if you smell like natural, that's fucked up. You will never be, so you need to buy our shit so that you can smell in a certain way so that then you can be happy. And I'm not kidding. And it goes on and on and on without this makeup, without this, without that, and you can't drive that kind of car. You got to drive this kind of car. But if you want to be seen as this way, you got to drive this kind of. And did I? Was it my blurry memory? Did I talk about the difference between being and seeming in a recent session? Did I talk about that?
You know, it was in the words of the song that you told us to listen to.
Good. I thought so. That perfect.
That statement. Yeah.
Perfect. So the difference between seeming and being. Marketing, modern day marketing, almost all of it is designed to program that part of you that wants to seem rather than dealing with the part of you that wants to be. Because let's be honest, who is going to make $1 billion selling broccoli on television? But fucking Fruit Loops? Oh my God, look at those colors and look at the kids dancing in the... Now, broccoli lives you and Fruit Loops kill you, all things considered. So the vast majority of profitable things are not life-affirming. Anybody ever notice that? All right, so Rosemary, with all of that said, considering what you know about the Century of the Self and the reflection, the time you took, the reflection you've put, other conversations we've had, and then everything you just said, did you find consciously while you were doing the work or after, did you find any parallels or any connection between what you learned in the Century of the Self and what you learned in writing down those things and finding out what you've been chasing?
I didn't make the conscious connection until you brought it up now.
And now that I have brought it up and you're making the conscious connection, what do you see? What do you see? What do you feel? What is about that for you?
Well, all the programming leads you further and further away from loving yourself just as you are. And it also, I don't know, what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's like it directs you away from the power that we all have. And it leads you to just completely look outside yourself for everything that you really want.
Beautifully.
And then you feel miserable because as you look outside yourself for everything that you want, you never find it.
And because you can't, right? Because you can't. Now listen, boys and girls, thank you, Rosemary. I may play more with you, and thank you for so far there. Check this out, Catherine, Jill, Pamela. Giulio, because it ain't no different in Italy. than it is in Nebraska for Renita. Not really. This is more important. It's more crucial than you might and probably do think or realize. So please don't skim past this. Like everything, we don't want to skim past nothing that happens in these sessions. We don't want to skim past nothing in life because it's a matter of being present. One could say that the vast majority of marketing and sales is in fact governmental propaganda. Now wait, Ryan, why would you say that? Because we don't actually have a government anymore. We have much more of a corporatocracy globally, much more than we have a government. Or you could say, or in other words, our government is a corporatocracy. Okay? Corporations. By the way, I'm not one of those people who say capitalism is bad or that corporatocracy is even bad. I'm not joining the fucking bandwagon. Okay. Here's what I'm doing. I'm advocating freedom for those who want it. Who says yes? Freedom for those who want it. If you don't want it, you're definitely on the wrong program. Okay? Freedom for those who want it. You don't have to ever take my word for a damn thing. I just recommend that you see that I'm living more of what it is that you want to live. I'm able to convey it, communicate about it. So follow up to the point that your heart says, nah, that's not for me. Otherwise, really dive in and really pay attention and really contemplate and really reflect. Everybody be totally present. I don't want you guys to use Level 5 or Freedom7 as fucking entertainment. Though I accept that sometimes you do. I don't want that. And I don't want freedom for you more than you want it for yourself. Everybody's going to come along to the point that they do with the willingness that they have to the level that they want with the openness and desire that they have, and that's okay. And Stacy, one Thursday, your level of commitment to this is like, oh my God. And the next Thursday is like, fuck, man, when's this session going to be over? You know, it is what it is because our best varies from moment to moment. I'm just encouraging you. Bring the best of your best in the most of the moments so you can get what you came for. So that my selfish ass can get good testimonials. Because I'm the one who matters here to myself. Because I'm selfish. Because I let go of the bullshit that says I wasn't supposed to be selfish and not supposed to be selfish, and it's not okay to be selfish. So, a corporatocracy is what one has when the government or illusion of a government gets overtaken by corporate interests and to the point where the corporations really have the power to enforce policy decisions. You guys with that? Or was that too deep? Everybody get that? Yeah? Okay. Anybody familiar with Monsanto? Some people call him Monsatan. Okay. If you do a little bit of digging, you will be probably as amazed as me to see that, like, I don't know, out of the last, 5 presidential administrations, Secretary of State or the head of commerce or whatever just left from being president of Monsanto. And now they're holding, like, just go do the research for yourself. Don't take my word on any of this shit. And I mean, this has been going on now for many, many, many years. But that's not the funny, because that's not really that suspicious. I mean, somebody that ran a multi-billion-dollar corporation, they might qualify for a government position, right? The funny thing is that after they leave that post, they go back to work as president of Monsanto. And many other companies. So, a couple books that I'm going to toss out for you crazy fucks that really want to wake up. And I know there's some of you out there. Okay? I've mentioned a lot of this stuff before. Okay, so Century of the Self, watch it again. The New Drug Story or The Drug Story by Morris Beale, B-E-A-L-E. It might be two L's, but look it up both ways. Morris Beale. It was out of print for a while, and I had to really dig to find a copy, and now it's back available. I know somebody printed some, and I was able to find it on Amazon. I got several copies of it. No, you can't have one. Okay. Another one is Fit for Life by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. Now, that one, not as much. It's just, it incidentally contains a whole bunch of stuff on this topic, okay? I'm lingering here for a little while, and I'm actually aware of that. And I'm still also aware of where we're going, just so you guys know, in case anybody wonders. Anybody waiting on the good shit? You guys are so smart. Okay. So this is really important. Anything that makes the implicit explicit helps us to wake up. So I was in water treatment, water purification for about 4.5 years, and I was advising people with difficult water situations, and it often turned out with them buying, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 highfalutin water purification systems if they were on a private well, if they were getting water from a lake, and often people that were on city water. Okay, now this led me, I'm a research fanatic, and I just dove in like, oh, what's chlorine, what? And, to discover that the past president of the American Cancer Society says that chlorine and fluoride are causing about 80,000 cancer deaths a year. That's fascinating to me. Who chose that? Who's choosing that shit? The Dental Association, Worcester Dental Society, that initially endorsed adding fluoride to water, they were lied to by scientists from the aluminum industry who were selling them this stuff called sodium fluoride. They falsified some scientific tests. They went to the Worcester Dental Society and they said, hey, look at these studies. Look at what fluoride is doing to help people's teeth. Now, they didn't say, well, we did this study in Texas and there was a community that was all drinking out of this one huge community well where there was naturally occurring calcium fluoride, and they had a 0% dental cavity rate. And then we falsified those reports using sodium fluoride, which is a toxic byproduct from aluminum production. And now we'd like to sell you that to pour in water supplies. The dentist didn't get that information. They just got that there was a study done in calcium fluoride. So they endorsed fluoridation of the water supply. Several years later, when the dentists were shown the truth, they took back their endorsement and said, no, we do not endorse water fluoride added to the water. But all across the U.S. and other parts of the world, they've been dumping fluoride in ever since on a false pretense. Now, it gets even more interesting when you discover that past president of the American Cancer Society, after he left, he came out and said, yeah, we figure chlorine and fluoride is causing about 80,000 deaths a year, hundreds of thousands of illnesses. Don't get upset, breathe. And then you say, well, who the fuck, why are they still doing it? Are they that stupid, or are they trying to kill us? Valid question, isn't it? How about this? Anybody believe milk does a body good? Anybody in this group still believe that cow milk has any benefit for human bodies? Oh, you guys are way too smart. Now, if I was starving to death and all there was a big old cow titty, guess what I'd be sucking on? Thank you, Bessie. And then I'd have some, and I'd be on my way to go get whatever else. But if milk ever had a benefit for a human body, today, are you kidding? Okay. But then why is it that our kids go to a school and in kindergarten, first and second grade, their health books tell them that they need milk? Why do you think that is? You know why? Guess who pays for the fucking health textbooks? Surprise. Okay, so enough of that nonsense. That's not nonsense. It just gives us, okay. Oh, so there's people profiting at the harm of other people. And why doesn't Brian say that's a bad thing? 2 reasons. Number 1, no one can do harm to you unless you want harm, because you're an infinite, unlimited being. And number 2, those people doing it are only doing what they think they need to do to survive, just like every time you fucking lie. Just like every time I manipulate and try to control a situation to make myself seem a certain way so that I can be safe. I'm not immune until I am. So look what I created. I forgive myself anyway. I choose peace, and I choose a different response starting now. You guys, be honest. You guys okay with me talking about this? You guys okay with it? Anybody feeling like yucky? You guys all right? Okay. So back to or forward to what I was discussing with Rosemary a moment ago. There's nothing to be upset about. We just choose again, choose again. Go buy the best water filter that you can afford that is in alignment with what I don't sell water filters. Okay. I have friends who do. I say that out of the filter brands that I've seen so far, Zero, for someone who's really looking for the most convenient, affordable thing, I would say Zero Water is probably the best from what I've seen. Okay. You want to go a little bit further? Carbon filtration, small micron carbon filtration on your whole house, if doable. Drinking water, necessity. And Rich just typed in, me too. I found at Costco a really nicely made 5-stage reverse osmosis system for like $200. I mean, you can't freaking beat that. Okay. And if it's installed right, you can get installed for $50 to $100. They're quick installs these days, and you can have for under $300, you can have 6 months of just about as good a water as you can get. Now, I do recommend adding minerals, and we're not going to go down a water treatment, conversation here. I do recommend adding high quality minerals if you are using reverse osmosis. Okay. There's a big debate about that. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Berkey's damn good depending on your water, Karen. I have a Berkey. It doesn't work with our water. It just doesn't work for the water here. It did on the other side of the island. It does in most places. Okay. So point being that we hear these things. I don't know about you, but if a rain of arrows was on its way towards my body, sharp, pointy, metal-tipped fucking arrows, if they were on the way to my body and I had 12 seconds to either get under something or move, I would want someone to tell me, Brian, there's a bunch of arrows, you run. Thank you. I got 12 seconds to run. I don't like, please. Oh, I don't want to tell Brian, because he might be offended. No, there's fucking arrows flying in my head. So I'm going to tell you, check on your water. Okay. I tell you to breathe, right? Check on your water. Take a look at your food. And if you really want to go all the way, talk to me or Dev about the nutrition products that we're doing, because it's the best shit I've ever seen in my life. And we're living on it and helping other people that are having miracles. Ain't we, Renita? I don't know if you guys notice how much less of Renita there is these days. Awesome, Catherine. And a lot of people love those Kangen systems. That's why I say go with the one that works for you. So, we're living in a world where we can look very simply and see the fruits of everybody choosing unconsciousness, can't we? It's easy to see. I will sell my pussy for profit. some women say. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. And if any one of you ever did in a hard time, or if you ever want to do it for a good time, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, woo. Okay? Men do it too, so that's not a sexist thing. Don't get pissed off at me, ladies. I really don't judge. I mean, hey, you know, if we knew how many women have found themselves in a bind and either done that or considered it, okay, let's don't judge nobody for nothing. Come down to feeding your kid or not. All right. The point is, though, that people can pretty much do anything. And if we look historically, they have done pretty much anything, haven't they? And there's people dumping chlorine in the water. There's people dumping fluoride in the water. There's people researching how to the tune of billions of dollars, billions of dollars. How do we keep your dumbass on Facebook for 12% more of the available 24 hours? Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know? Okay, you didn't. So look up, just anybody that wants to, on the replay, look up, all right, Catherine, love you, girl. Look up Facebook mind games, or look up Facebook mental psychological warfare, or Facebook psychological research. Just later, please don't make notes right now. Video game companies, Facebook, YouTube, Google, spending billions with a capital double B on how do we keep your dumbass hooked to the next video that we're going to put in front of you. And how many seconds into one video do we put the hint about the next video so that you won't be tempted to go to that other website? Because eyeballs are dollars. Attention is dollars. I don't know about you guys. I limit my kids' screen time hugely. And I'm in the process of limiting it more. Anybody ever found yourself wanting to have a productive day and next thing you knew you were scrolling through the news feed? Can we be honest? Okay. Anybody ever noticed that happening after you said you weren't going to do it anymore? How, you know, is it that you're that fucking stupid, or are they that good at hooking your ass? So let's be honest. Let's be aware of all the things out there. Do you ever think that anybody ever spent $50 million on placing an ad with the thought, you know, I hope this only works for the people that need it most? Probably not. I'm probably the only person. When I write an ad, when I write a Facebook blurb, I'm starting with the premise of, can I run everybody that don't want this off from the very beginning so that I have the perfect audience that reads to the end or watches this video to the end? Yes, I do. So how do we tie all this back together? I'll figure that out in just a minute. Who else has something to share about their experience with the home play? Oh, that was Rich. Rich's hand went up second. What you got, man?
I found that in answering the questions, it was a whole lot of past. Like, I'm not as full of bullshit as I was. So I actually went back to the original 4 questions that you ask yourself before you start reading your book. And I had to pull some things from that just to be able to come up with anything that I'm currently chasing or currently feeling these ways about. And even looking at my parents, looking at them going, I don't see that in them anymore because I'm not looking for it like I used to.
Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm gonna give you kudos and a pat on the back and a tease. Kudos, pat on the back. Yes, you're right. You have come far. and you continue to come far. And you and Kate, like, I know you guys are digging into this stuff as much or more than anybody else that follows my crazy shit. I know you are. I see it. And here's the tease: dig deeper, because it's the things. Okay, so let me get like radical. You guys are always okay with me being honest with you, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you guys kind of like it sometimes when I'm transparent and tell you my own goofy shit, right? So.
Oh, yeah.
When I, as we talked about on the last session, hey, Sabrina, welcome. She's probably multitasking. She's doing several projects. Hey, girl.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So this is kind of important. Everybody breathe deep. You got any more, Rich, or was that it?
Oh, that was pretty much it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So what I'm going to reflect back to Rich and, of course, to you. So who's still present? All right. You guys finding this helpful? Be honest. There's no peer pressure here. If you're not finding something helpful, either say it so we can modify, or we can help pull a detail out that always makes it more valuable. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want awesomeness every time. So check this out. As you know, I went on my roughly 20-day experience because I had 7 days of prep, 10 days of holy shit, and a couple of days of reentry into the world. Frankly, I'm still kind of reentering. I'm pretty much back now. And I went deeper. This is going to be a little bit of a risky statement here. I went deeper than you might be able to imagine. No offense. I went deeper than I could have imagined. So if it was deeper than I could have imagined, it's actually possible that I went deeper than you can imagine. Not deeper than you could go. Just deeper than you might have allowed yourself to imagine, because we're all pretty much homogenized fucking milk these days until we're not. And the amount, Rich, the amount of stunning, staggering, multidimensional, kaleidoscopic bullshit that was still in me, I just had to get subtle enough and quiet enough and deep enough in my presence to be able to detect it. So just reflect on that for a moment. Okay, 7 days I went without consuming meats, salt. It was a no red meat policy. I basically cut back on everything else, but this is a really strict and really well-reasoned, incredibly researched process that I went through. No salt, no pepper, no seasonings of any kind, no caffeine, no sugar, no stimulants of any kind, chocolate, none of that stuff. The list of no's for those 7 days of preparation was way longer than the list of yeses. Like, I was allowed to breathe and drink water and sleep and a couple other things, okay? This was beyond a cleanse, the 7 days of preparation. And what that did was it got me into a place of such quiet. Because listen, is it possible that you're actually addicted to salt? No matter how much you use, is it possible that you're addicted to it? Is it even if your body needs salt to live, and it does, is it possible that you're addicted to it? Because we can be addicted to sex. We can be addicted to almost anything. And what was so stunning for me during those 7 days of preparation was to realize how much shit I was addicted to. I had no idea. Rosemary, this brings me back to you. Those practices of those things that we're chasing on a daily basis, the things that we don't say, and we have great reasons why. We can tell you why we don't say them. No bull fucking shit. It's because we want approval that we don't say them. Sometimes when I say the word pussy and I watch you guys go, oh, you're not supposed to say that word. It's not, you're trying not to cringe. But some of you guys, I see it on your face. There's that momentary, Ryan, couldn't you be a little more normal? Nope. Now I'm starting to hit all over the bush, and that's okay. Sometimes I do that. You know, I thought it was very interesting when I went through my phase as a Christian, as a kid, that they thought shit was a bad word. I was like, fuck, dude, you don't do it? Preacher, you don't want me to say shit because that's a bad word? Does that mean you don't? Is that why you stand on the pulpit and talk it all the time? Because it's got to come out somewhere? That was just an inside joke for me. Some of you guys enjoyed that, I could see. You know, like, I can't say fuck. It's my favorite thing. I can't say fuck. That's bad. Who authored this thing that there's words that are bad? Who did that? And all the spiritual people say, well, Brian, haven't you seen Dr. Masaru Emoto's work on messages in water? Don't you see the words have power? No, they don't. That was the intention that had power, not the words. So back to Rich and Rosemary, and beginning to weave some threads that bring some cohesiveness to all this madness. You, my beautiful friend, have no idea how full of shit you actually are. And I say that with the highest possible respect. I do. I mean it with love and respect. You have no idea. And the irony is that until you realize how full of shit you are, you probably won't be too inspired or capable at getting that shit out. Infinite respect. And I saw that and I return it rich. And I'm talking to myself. Those 10 days after those days of preparation, and then I got into my jungle setting and I chilled out for 2 days, quieting down even further and drinking various medicines from plants in ultra high concentrations. And then I went into 6.5 days of silence. Do you see how a situation like that might be conducive to someone quieting down enough that they actually begin to see, oh, shit. Huh? Now, I don't advise that for anybody. And if anybody wants to talk about it, we can talk about how you might have a similar ridiculous experience. Okay. You guys reach out to me and I warn you, it ain't pretty. And it ain't fun. And it is unbelievably incredible. And I'm going to do it again. All right. Quick side note for a commercial. Very quick. One of those things I never do. I'm going to do it. The 19th through 22nd of next month, I'm doing, you see it, Andrea just smiled and nodded. I'm doing an event for 4 people at my house. And then in April, I'm doing another one. And I don't believe I will ever do one of those 4-day events for as low of an investment as I'm going to do these 2. And my team is kind of like strong-arming me a little bit about some things they want to do. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you for having a brain for me, Sabrina, for when I don't. I just want to put an A between the R and the I and call her Sabrina because she does that so well.
Thank you.
The date's in May. I do, and we can discuss that. Here's the deal. The reason I dropped that in here is that I'm going to do a Facebook Live on this in about 2 hours, And there is a fairly high probability that both of those events will fill up within 24 hours. Okay, March 9th. Damn, Sabrina just rocks. I'm sorry. March 19th through 22nd and May 6th through 10th. She's probably right, too. So those are probably the lowest ticket events, and they're definitely the highest awesomeness events that I've ever done, because guess what? It's the culmination of all the 4 days I've ever done plus the 20 days that I just went through. All right, end of commercial. Since I always go way over the hour promise, so I can take 3 minutes for that. That was 2.5 minutes. All right, so you got something, Rich? What you got?
With my statement, by no means was I saying that I think I'm not full of shit anymore. I was just saying that I was having a little bit harder time finding what I was chasing than I did when I first did the question.
Beautiful. Thank you for that humility, and I didn't take it that way. I wanted to let you know, because listen, who here is more full of shit than you were when you found me? Ain't none of you, because you listen, the fact that you even are open to consider these things, you're releasing shit every time we meet. Or are you? Aren't you? Don't you find yourself releasing? That's why you're showing up. I swear to God, you guys are not here to watch my hair grow, though it is very entertaining. Will he put on the unicorn helmet? I don't know. That's not what you guys are here for. Okay? So everybody's less full of shit than they were, and none of us are empty of shit. And what I was really challenging you, Rich, I'm grateful you said it. Dig deeper. So when you go back and do the home play again, and all right, so who wants to get even more out of this program? Yeah? You serious? Are you willing to do the home play for another week and go deeper? Are you really? And I'm recording this, so next week I can show this clip where everybody's nodding. And Nina's like, fuck no. Nina, you're going to do it anyway, girl. You and me will talk about this. That's why I love Nina, man. But there's other reasons too. So check this out. Here's something. I haven't talked about this for a while. So and I'm going to drop a few threads together here. When I was getting ready to come on this session, I pulled up my notes. I'm going to acknowledge that in a moment, Catherine. If I don't, you remind me. I was looking at my notes, and I was thinking, okay, do I go to the next phase of this? Or do I simply have them talk about the last week? Or do I do both? I know what I'll do. I'll start by talking about last week, and then as we go, I'll decide if I want to go into the next process, or do I save that for next week? I already know I'm saving it for next week. I feel it. And so what I want to do is I want to bring a few really huge threads together for this so that you guys can go deeper. And I've referred to this before, like many things I talk about. I've referred to this before. However, but also, this could be a revelation for you. And I'm talking only to you. If you dive in and apply yourself to what I'm about to say, and apply what I'm about to say to you, Stacy, Julio, Pamela, Catherine. Breathe, Jill. Everybody check your posture. Everybody check your posture and see if you're supporting yourself right now. It's important. I'm at a stand-up desk, so I do have a little bit of an advantage, but I put the fucking stand-up desk here, so. For this reason. Okay. 3-ish years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I had this inspiration to ask a question. And I do not advise that you ask this question unless you want to wake the fuck up. And the question was an innocent, harmless question. What have I been missing? What have I been avoiding? The seeing of which will return significant power and awareness to me. I know some of you guys heard me talk about this. If I'm not mistaken, it might have been in Conscious Creators 5.0. I think so. What have I been missing? What have I been avoiding? The seeing of which will return my power. Now, before I go further with this, I want to tell you guys something else. Many years ago, during my second stint as a Christian, the first time I was a Baptist, and I don't want to say anything about Baptists because I ain't got nothing good to say about. And if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing. I just love everybody. So I love every Baptist. Don't get me wrong. It's not putting anybody down. It's just that in every religion, there are more shallow and more deep approaches, okay? So I tried the Lutheran Baptist persuasion for many years. I tried to follow. I listened to what they were saying. I compared it to the book, and then I looked at what they were living, and I kind of agreed with Krishnamurti. I would want to be a Christian if I hadn't met so many of them. So then I left that shit way behind. Many years passed, and then I had an experience with some Christians who were of the United Pentecostal persuasion. Holy Spirit, rolling on the floor, talking in tongues, power. Holy shit, I didn't know that could be a part of Christianity. I had such an incredible experience. You guys ask me about it someday, and I might tell you. It was amazing. And I did everything that I could possibly do to follow it. The issue was that I had reached a point of awareness where I could never believe that Jesus was the only one. Like, dude, I'm him, he's me, we're the same thing. I still have people today that get pissed off at me for saying that. I don't care. It's like, no, he ain't the only one. Sorry, y'all. You got a little confused. You're just trying to capitalize on marketing a little bit, a couple thousand years earlier than Century of the Self was made. Man, I had an experience. And I tried so hard to live that Christianity, and I just couldn't do it. And I strained and I struggled. I mean, I wanted to live in that miraculous spiritual power that I experienced a few times. Anybody relate to that at all? Anybody ever have a spiritual experience in your religious? Like, that's some awesome shit, ain't it, Rosemary? Whoa! It's like, this must be the real deal. And so I prayed back then, God, I don't like being such a pussy hound, chasing skirts all the time. If you got to blind me so that I don't see those curves, do it. I prayed that. I don't advise it. Thank God I still see, but I'm just saying, God, if you have to break my legs so that I'm not chasing so many stupid things, do it. Anybody ever pray anything like that? It helped me. See, you guys weren't as fanatical as me, and that's okay, because look at me now. Nina did. Okay, me and Nina are fanatics. I was fanatical. I mean, I wanted to live it. Help me. Do whatever you got to do. For me to live in the pinnacle of experience, if I got to give up a limb or an eye or a testicle, whatever, it's a small price. That's how I saw it. And then several years ago, life was kind of difficult. And I said, God, angels, whatever's real, spirits, angels, ancestors, whoever's backing me up, could we make it a little easier? Could I cancel out all those things about break my legs and blind me and take my nuts away? Could we just can it be easy? Now, some of you guys are smiling, so you can relate to that. Some of you have made some kind of prayers about letting it be hard. Let it be effortless. Let it be magical. Well, apparently I didn't fully communicate that to the powers that illusorily appear to be above me. Because when I asked that question just a few years ago about help me to see whatever I've been missing, the fucking floor fell in and I fell into hell, and I had totally crazy people slandering me on Facebook, like brutally, hugely. The accusations made against me were so ridiculous that they would have been funny, except for the fact that some people are fucking crazy and will believe that shit without investigating. Oh man, I didn't like that. And it was the best damn thing that could have ever happened for me. You know why? Because I'm a little bit smart. And I remembered to say, how could this be the best thing that ever happened for me? And so guess what I found? I mean, I'll tell you what, listen, you want the truth? This was just about 4 years ago. I was still Mr. Level 5, and I cried for 3 or 4 days about that shit. And I would get on sessions. Okay, I gotta, I'm going to do my thing with these people. And I stayed honest, and I told the truth, and I said I was going through crazy shit. So before you follow me down this rabbit hole of discovery, you might want to set a couple intentions. However, did anybody get value out of the home play? I think I asked something like that at the beginning. You guys have some experiences. Yeah, you guys got some value out of the home play. You think you could get more? Do you think you could go deeper? Could anybody relate at all to what Rich said of, and let's just be honest, wow, I had to kind of look because I'm not near as full of shit as I used to be. Did anybody feel like that? Or you guys found plenty of full of shit? me and Mary Lou, we got plenty of full of shit still to find, right? So there's still some there. And if you want to go deeper, here's what you can do. You can go back into your home play and this time add in, what have I been not seeing? The seeing of which now will return my power and my awareness and my peace to me. What else have I been missing? What else have I been missing? What have I been missing that I was missing? So Catherine, let's you and me talk for a minute here. Felt like a fraud, a hypocrite, and a failure yesterday. Tell me what's up with that. I think I'm unmuting while you're unmuting you, right? Okay, you unmute you this time. There we go.
There we go. So ask the question again. What was the last thing?
So you said I felt like a fraud, a hypocrite, and a failure yesterday. Tell me about that.
Oh, it was terrible. Yesterday was terrible feeling like that. So, and I think, or it appeared to me that it was about doing the wrong thing or being seen as doing the wrong thing, being perceived to be doing the wrong thing. So just the example, we're not allowed to have pets here, but we have a guinea pig, or we had 2 guinea pigs. One of them died. The other one had rashes, so I took it to our house, but I was a bit scared because I'm a single mom and I can't afford to get kicked out of this place. But I was, doing the right thing for my guinea pig, but doing the wrong thing if someone came from the strata or, the real estate. So it was, and then my old neighbors' owners came and they're part of the strata, and I was like, oh my God. And, part of me could see, an infinite powerful being and that whole thing, but I could just watch it playing out. I just couldn't help it. And it was like the physical thing of, I'm going to get punished, remembering being a child.
Yes. Okay, let's pause right there. So this is super important. I see some nodding on that one. I'm going to get in trouble. In trouble. Okay. When I was under my 20 days there, especially during the 10 days, and especially during the 6.5 days of silence, I did more journaling than I've done in the last year. And one of the things that I really saw, and I made a lot of notes about, this idea of being in trouble. Okay, so I talked about chronic habitual vibratory frequency, right? Okay, chronic habitual vibratory fuck. And so we're living in a house with these crazy fucks who have the ability to dispense trouble. You ever notice that? I mean, they just, sometimes I fuck up. Okay, so I lied. I lied. Other times, They just are pissed off and they're dispensing trouble. I mean, it's one thing when I willfully do, and I know I did, and God damn it, okay, yes, I did. And I broke that shit too, by the way. Yes, I did. So if you're coming and dispensing trouble to me, it's almost reasonable. Now, I don't like you're hitting me. I don't like you yelling at me. I don't like the criticism. That's still potentially scarring for a little infinite being, okay? But when you come put me in fucking trouble and I didn't do nothing, I kind of feel out of control, like, right, Nina? Right, Mary Lou? Like, this ain't right. This ain't fair. So we come up. One of our chronic habitual is about being in trouble. That's huge. It's almost universal. Who can relate to the feeling of being in trouble as something that still sometimes shows up in your life? Now look at this, look at this, look at this. Who can relate to the idea of feeling like you're in trouble and it's not fair? And you don't have any power over it, and they're going to do it anyway. And then, yeah. So guess what we do? We lie and we hide our guinea pig so that we can continue to feel in trouble. Rosemary, we do that shit that you found on your list. Fuck. So that we can feel in trouble. I guarantee you, Catherine, that as a kid, you felt like a fraud, a hypocrite, and a failure quite a bit. How does he know that? Because you just wrote it, that you felt it yesterday after doing the home play. Part of the home play, I didn't tell you guys this because I'm kind of clever sometimes and sneaky too. Part of the reason that I had you do the home play is so you could uncover the feelings of your chronic habitual vibratory frequency, though I didn't exactly tell you that. I'm not even sure if I realized that's why I was doing it. So what's really powerful about this is to look at those things and say, wow, I did that. I am a criminal guinea pig hider. I did that and more. I forgive myself anyway. Listen, so let's be really honest here. Let's go a slightly different angle for a moment. Anybody ever notice that there's a bunch of stupid fucking rules in the world? You ever notice that? No glass by the pool. Well, what kind of fucking moron was throwing glass down by the pool so that I can't bring my glass by the pool? What the fuck? Sorry, I had to vent that. That was from when I was 16 one day. I mean, think about, like, you go to a public pool. I'm so glad they say no pooping in the pool. Like, that could just be number 1 and number 5 and number 9 and number 13 in case the other people misreading it for their kids. You know, no pooping in the pool. Let's agree on that one. But no splashing? The fuck? And for those of us who have ever lived or live in a condominium type of complex place, you ever look at their rule list? Like, do you know that there's no rules on that list that some dumb fuck didn't actually do that made them feel like they needed to add that to the list? No walking up to random cars and sticking chewing gum up the nose of the driver. Who did that? Who did that? Did they have to add that to the list? Now I'm having fun, and I'm believe it or not, I'm being serious as well. Now, what's on your list of rules? What's on your list of rules? So we're going to add an item to our home play. We're going to go back through all those questions again. And for those of you that are serious, that want to get everything you can possibly get out of this program, do it every day for at least a few minutes. Revisit this. I don't doubt that in Michigan, Rich. And why do they have to do that in Michigan? It's because of fucking Michiganians. But we're not gonna really hammer that. So what I'm gonna advocate, I think they have the same rule in Canada, but it's for like moose or caribou. But I don't want to pick at Sabrina.
Be nice.
Yes, I do want to pick it.
I'm still listening.
Yeah, damn it. I was thinking if we couldn't see her, she couldn't hear me, but that didn't worth a crap. And his beavers were, beavers. I'm going to leave beavers completely out of this because I don't even want to go down that road. There's enough been said about that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to recommend that everybody devotes a few minutes every day minimum. Put it in your phone. Put a reminder in your phone to come back to the home play. I don't care. Listen, if you literally all you're willing to do is look at it again, that's better than nothing. Please don't say squirrels, Julio. I don't want to get sidetracked. I was getting horny when that word is typed in front of me. Okay, give me a minute. All right. Fortunately, I was able to see a beaver, and it distracted me from the squirrel. So we're gonna look at those questions again. Those of you that are serious, do some more writing. Those of you that are really serious, after you read over your home play, I want you to ask this big question: what have I been missing on all of these topics? And don't expect the answer to come right then. Ask it like you mean it and say, I'm setting the intention in this moment that the things that I've been missing that could have been on this list, they are coming to me now. I'm beginning to see them, and I will become aware. I'm willing to become aware of what I've been missing, what I've been avoiding, what I've been hiding, what I've been denying on these lists and others. And then go for a walk, go masturbate, go take a long bath, go masturbate while you're walking in a long bath, whatever it is that works for you to calm your shit down and have quiet come in. And the last thing for your home play for this week is a very elegant question. And that is going to be, what are my inner rules that I have been unaware of up until now? My inner rules. What are my rules? Rosemary, what are the things, like, let's be transparent here. I am, and if you want me to shut up, say shut up, but you better say it before I finish, Rosemary. So Rosemary and I are both choosing to engage in network marketing, among other things. Okay, is that true? We talked about it before, so it's okay. Rules for myself, Catherine. I'm talking about my rules. My rules for me. What are my rules? Unspoken and spoken, hidden and not. Okay. And so, Rosemary, we had that experience during the last Freedom7 where I brought up during one of our meetings outside of level 5. We had a meeting and I talked about trying to please dad, trying to not piss dad off. Okay. And you guys can dig into that if you want. And then we look weeks later, still not performing at the level we want. And that's not just you and me, Rosemary. That's almost universal. All right, and just seeing how far down this road I want to go. I'm watching leaders in various network marketing companies participating at a fraction of what they're capable of, and they're actually running the show. Now, what about everybody else that's not leaders? Okay. Do you feel, Karen? Okay. So Karen, are you in the financial position right now that you really intentionally, most personally want to be? Karen? No, my question was so obvious. She's like, what the fuck are you asking? Wait, I got to think about this for a minute. No, you see that? You saw that, right? You guys saw that, right? She's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Now, everybody look at Karen. Now, listen, I don't care about political correctness. We're all retarded because we're all infinite, unlimited beings who have the potential to have grown by now into our fullness, and none of us have. So by definition, that's what retarded means. You guys got it? Retarded, cut back, limited, pruned, or somehow hindered in a way that we didn't grow into our fullness. Doesn't mean we can't grow into it now. But look at Karen. This woman's not stupid. She's a solid communicator, but who would suspect that Karen is probably doing some shit behind her own back, sabotaging herself? Probably fucking daily, probably hourly, probably every time she starts to do something big, right? Guess what? Who else does that shit? On three. 1, 2, 3. Either one of these works. So I'm sure as hell not picking on Karen. What do we think is going to turn? Are we going to really deal with that, or are we going to choose to turn it around? Renita, you, honey, you're doing shit that a year ago you would never in a million years have dreamed that you were doing. For one thing, weighing what you weigh right now. You would have never a year ago dreamed that you'd be weighing this right now. Okay? You're doing other things. You are being so badass. And guys, I've talked about Renita before. I ain't flattering, nothing, blah, blah. I'm straight up. You didn't even know how far Renita has gone and the things that she's said and done in the last 6 months since she decided to get her crazy ass on a plane to Hawaii. You have no idea. And since then, I mean, it's still going, isn't it, Renita? Okay? And are you even 10% playing at the level that you really want to play? Nope. She said that. So what do we think? Good point, Rich. I've seen that somewhere. So this is not to minimize, it's to be present. It's to be present. So what do we think is going to turn that around? Scratching our ass and wishing? If so, I'll be back in an hour. No, scratching the ass and wishing just scratches your ass and wishes. What's going to make the difference is coming to awareness, making the implicit explicit, and then acting on what came to the light. And guess what? Who here has ever had anything come to light in the last few months dealing with Brian's crazy shit? You wouldn't be in this program if you didn't, right? Who's acted 100% completely on all of it? Myself included. So this is a moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, week by week choice to become aware and then act on it. Forgiving ourselves every time we don't. And this home play that I'm giving you is the deepest and most powerful awareness building stuff that I have access to. And it's working. And you know you could work it even more, couldn't you? So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up here in a moment. And I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to encourage you. We're all connected in the Facebook group for this program. And some of us are Facebook friends. I want you guys, like, take a moment right now. I want you to look. If you have it on speaker view, click gallery view so you can see everybody for a minute. Get where you can see all these gorgeous faces. Aliens all. Okay. Pick 3 people right now that you're either going to lovingly remind or harass. I'm okay with either. Over the course of the next few days, pick 3 people right now that you're either going to lovingly support or lovingly harass. It can be the same thing. Over the next few days, to basically reach out and say, hey, fucktard, I love you. Have you revisited the home play? And if so, have you done it as much as you really want, or are you okay having this extend for another week? Do it however it works for you, Pamela. However it works for you, Mary Lou. Do it, though. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I might harass a couple of you. Now, if you don't get harassed, don't say, oh, they left me out. Harass yourself. When we get on here next week, I want everybody to be competing to tell first about the breakthroughs of awareness and action that you had as a result of diving in. So I have one final, I think it's the final question. It's probably the final question of this session. I'm going to ask you a very direct question. And I just want you to either nod or shake your head. I want you to do one or the other. If you do this homework, now I will accept. I'm gonna accept neutrality. But if you don't nod or shake, I'm gonna call on you and ask what it is that's unclear for you. Because I do accept someone might be uncertain. I will accept that possibility. So it's a yes or a no, or it's I'm uncertain. Will diving into the home play that you have been given, what were my parents chasing? What were they trying to seem like? What were they trying to be? What have I been chasing? What have I been trying to seem like? What was I trying to, all those things. Now, what have I been missing, avoiding? What could I see? All this boiled up together. Will it or will it not put you in a more powerfully empowered place to be able to change your life, or will it not? I'm watching. Got a couple stubborn fuckers here. Will it or will it not? Okay. Nina, what you got?
Well, you kind of know it's I believe it will change things. So I believe that my life will be more the way I want it to be when I can get past what is in my way that I haven't been able to get through.
Okay. Which you and I know is you.
Yeah, it's me. It shows up, but up until now, I haven't been able to handle.
Okay, thank you for that. Now let's pull out the microscope for just 1 minute, or magnifying glass, whichever, doesn't matter. First of all, becoming aware. Second of all, just becoming aware puts us in the position to be able to change it, because when we're not aware, we can't. Listen, what Krishnamurti said, I agree. Until we make, or Jung actually said it, Krishnamurti restated it, until we make the implicit explicit, it's going to dictate our lives, and we're going to call it fate. Because we don't know why that happened again. Because of what you're hiding from yourself and doing behind your own back. Ain't nobody else doing it. So I'm not saying that achieving this awareness will change the things at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that achieving the awareness of these things empowers you to be in the position to change them. That's what I'm saying. And then, Nina, it is a matter of breathing, through the upset, and then revisiting it and maybe breathing again through the next level of upset. And for those of us that chose to have a really hard time on this planet and really go through hell, we have a little bit more to breathe through than the rest. And others, beautiful faces you and I are looking at right now, Nina, take a look with me. Some of these beautiful people are still playing half-ass. Don't think that none of us are different here. Anybody here been playing at a lower level than they could, even in this program? Okay, then. Okay. Yeah, what you got, Nina?
You know what I can't get past. I told you.
I only know what you haven't got past. I don't know if there's anything that you
Okay.
can't get past.
But so far I haven't. Breathing brings it up. Everything I've done brings it up up until now. Spell breaks bring it up. Breathing brings it up. Doing the home play brings it up. Radical forgiveness worksheets. I don't, I as of this moment, I don't see how to get through it.
I understand. Has the breathing ever helped you get through anything?
Yes.
Wait. I'm being real simple here on purpose. I'm playing kindergarten for you and
Brian,
me.
when I start breathing, I told you what I do.
You told me exactly what you've done up until now, and you and I communicated about this yesterday. Yes.
I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Okay. So, has breathing ever helped you move through anything?
Yes.
And I've watched it, and I've been there, haven't I?
Yes.
And I've seen you come up against things that you thought you weren't going to make it through, and I've actually watched you get through those too.
Not like this.
I understand, but I'm not referring to that. I'm referring only to the ones that you have made it through. This is not different in kind. This is different in extent. And I saw that I got a Facebook message from you. I didn't read it yet because, as you know, I get a couple billion Facebook messages a day. But I did see that I got one from you, and I'm going to check into it. So you know what? Just like there's no secrets here, and I'm not revealing anything that's ultra private. So for Nina, one of the things that I suggested to her is that there's a specific type of tapping called it's EMDR. There's the visual EMDR that I've done, and then there's a tapping EMDR. And there's a lady here on the island that every time I run into a blind spot myself, I don't fuck around. I don't waste time. I just call her and say, listen, can I come by? And we go and I go over and we tap it out. Right, Andrea? Right, Sabrina? She's muted, but she's probably still there multitasking.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. This tapping is really simple and it really works. And I cannot recommend it highly enough. And Nina, there's a well of emotion there for you to move through. And there's nothing in the world wrong with you having support to do it. I do it myself. Nothing in the world wrong with it. It'll benefit you.
Well, it's a question of money. It's a question of it's a lot of things. I know I'm doing this. I'm putting all this stuff up. So just so everybody knows, when I start breathing or doing any of this stuff,
breathe.
I feel so much anger, and it's directed towards myself, and I hurt myself. I've knocked myself out. I'll smash my head against the wall until I knock myself out. And the only way to stop doing that is to just not do the stuff. It's to not breathe and to draw back and to not go through it.
Okay, so you're not breathing right now, Nina. So listen, you don't have to breathe. You don't have to breathe so deep that you bring anything up. But you can breathe deep enough that you move through this feeling right here. And if you don't, it's not going to go anywhere. That's right. You got to breathe through this. You got to breathe through this because it's always going to lead to the same dead end until you breathe through it. And you don't have to make the breath so big that you open more. Just breathe through this one, the one you're in. That's all you got to do is breathe through the one you're in right now. And that's true for you. That's true for me. Breathe through the one you're in right now. And for you, that abbreviated breath is perfect. And I saw it help yesterday, Nina. Don't make it bigger than it is. I know. Who here would like to feel so angry you bang your head on the wall? No hands are going up. Nobody, Nina, not you, not me, not nobody. Okay? But it doesn't have to happen. It's just that there's a level of anger. There's a level of anger there that you haven't moved through, and you may have to move through it with physical support, and there's nothing in the world wrong with that. And so Catherine just said a YouTube search on EMDR. Yeah, and the breathing from last week, that's what's actually been helping, Rich. Exactly. Not that big, not that big, not that big. Letting it.
Well, I actually talked to two people about EMDR, and they both said that there was a process called somatic experiencing, which was more subtle and didn't require that you scream or that you had to go so. I don't understand. I talked to somebody about it. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It works. Any trauma release mechanism that works, I'm for it.
This guy said you don't have to scream anymore. He said you're not going to have to scream anymore if you do.
I agree. Well, you never did. You never did have to scream.
Come on. I never did have to. I just did it because I wanted to.
No, you did it because you didn't know what else to do. Every time this upset comes up and you stop breathing, exactly, it's going to get worse. So all you got to do is every time. Well, Brian, how many times do I have to meet it with the breath? Oh, only every time.
But the breath brings it up.
What I did with you yesterday with this type of breathing didn't bring it up. You were able to move through it.
I wasn't facing stuff though. I wasn't looking at the stuff. Look, I don't want to argue for what I can.
We ain't arguing, honey. I just got a piece of clarity for you. And you know what? This is for you. Nina's me and Nina's you, and there ain't no, right now she's dealing with something that's a little bit different, doesn't matter. So Nina, check this out. Tune in with me here. And this next moment is what I'm going to have you definitely chop this piece. If you want some tech help, we can get it for you. Chop this piece out of the video and save it as a part that's just for you. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Make it easy. It's just a regular inhale that breathes into your belly and then let it fall out. It might be beneficial for you, for the facing of these emotions, to do it in a support group for a little while, okay? Or with someone who does one-on-one or small group work, physical, where you have physical support. You're in that space where they can really monitor and really, really work with you closely. There's nothing in the world wrong with that. I mean, trauma release is the thing. Trauma release is the thing. And I'm doing something that includes trauma release and is deeper with this whole level 5 paradigm. And right now you might be in the place where you just need the simplest trauma release possible with someone presently with you. There's a lot of super affordable approaches, especially in large cities, where you can pull this off pretty freaking easy. Okay, I'm going to advocate just for a short while, Nina, just for a short while. You've gone so far with me in these last couple months, I'm going to advocate that you don't actually try to face things for the next few weeks, maybe the next month. You know what? It's no more facing things. It's no more intentionally bringing up to move through it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to master breathing in the way that calms me the most. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to master breathing in the way. Could anybody here benefit from being calmer some of the time? My hand's going to stay up on this one. We're not just supporting you, Nina. This is the truth. Just being calmer. Listen, I told you guys this program was about calming the fuck down and becoming present to everything. That's what this is about, calming down and becoming present. So Nina, no more diving into issues for a little while for you. Breathing and mastering your calmness is priority one for you for a little while. Would you be willing to just do that and make it simpler for yourself? Okay, breathing and calm. Oh, feeling a little bit upset? Because this breath don't fail. It don't fail. It works every single time, and you just apply it, and then you're, oh wait, I'm overdoing a little bit. Don't need to do that. Just, and what you're going to begin to notice is, Nina, look in my eyes for just 1 minute as you're breathing. Everybody, I'm talking to you now. You're going to begin to notice as you simply focus on calming down and breathing, you're going to notice that with every one of those, every time you let the breath go, you're actually letting some of the upset go, whether you knew it or not, whether you tried to or not. It just goes out with the exhale. Because in a way, creation, I'm going to tell you guys one of the biggest secrets in the universe here. In a way, creation is breathing in creates, and breathing out lets it go and lets it start over again. Look at a lifetime and just chop out everything that happens after the first inhale except for the last exhale. Take a look at that for just 1 minute. You're born and you go, and on your last exhale you go, ah. Creation, uncreation. Sunrise, sunset. The illusion of birth and death. The starting and the ending. Creating it, letting it go. So with every conscious exhale, whether you mean to or not, you're letting trauma go. You guys know this is true, don't you? You don't always know it every minute, but you guys do know that this is true. What I'm saying right now, this is a crazy, profound, simple truth. Every conscious exhale lets emotion go. You got enough right now, Nina. You've come so far in such a short time after what you've been through in your life. Take it easy. The breathing works whether you brought anything up or not. You willing to do that, Nina? I got your back. I'll remind you. We'll remind you. How about a few of you guys? Listen to me. Listen, I'm going to say something really intensely crazy here. Don't get sucked into Nina's shit. However, those of you that will, reminder this week. Just breathe. Let the fucking shit go. Just breathe. You're in a place right now where you've gone so far through so much emotion, you don't need to bring up anything else. Breathe. Whenever any of you guys ever feels overwhelmed by the stuff that's coming up, drop it and go. Lay on your back is even better. Lay on your back with a hand on your belly is even better. Feel that balloon fill up. I'm listening, Nina.
what, how about the way I feel the most comfortable breathing is lying on my side? Is that too?
You know, if it works for you, if it really works for you, you do it. Put your hand on your belly and do it. Support your neck. This is super important. Whether you're sitting, laying, or whatever, the single most important thing is that your spine is very straight so that all the energy in your body can move. So if you're laying on your side, have a pillow that's this thick, that works. Even if you got to squinch it up so that your spine is still straight laying on your side. You follow me?
Yes.
Then the breathing. And Rich just said, beautifully said. Whenever the breathing brings up anything but breathing, focus on the breathing more. So if the breathing brings something up, breathe. Don't focus on what it brought up. Focus on the breathing. Beautiful. Breathing. Listen, this is not just for Nina. Breathing, job one. Everybody got it? Do I need to say it again? I'll say it again if it helps. Breathing. Job one, priority one, the breathing. Everything else, you bring up something, breathe. You don't bring up something, breathe. You find yourself getting irritated, breathe. You're taking a crap, breathe. Oh, look at the cute puppy. Oh, I just banged my toe and it reminds me of. You guys do that, and then I'll be watching for you to thank me next week. Because it works. Just breathe, Nina. No more. Just breathing. All right, boys and girls. You got something, Nina? Renita? Were you wanting to say something, Renita? I saw your hand. Yeah? Okay, I didn't. That was not quite clear for me. Okay, I'm unmuting you, hon. What you got?
Well, on your questions, the ones I'm having trouble with is what were my parents choosing, and what did my parents want to be seen as? And I never saw either of those in my parents, so I'm wondering, but.
Okay. Now let me refine that. Did you never see it in them, or did you never become cognizant and aware of what there might have been to see? Is there a possibility that second one might have validity to it? Because as kids, that shit was all automatic. Come on. Our parents didn't say, hey, I want you to notice now how I'm being a total hypocritical asshole. They didn't do that. They just did it without drawing attention to it. Okay. So, Renita, something you can fine-tune your questions with. What were they chasing is very helpful. What were they choosing works. What were they chasing? Because that whole question kind of puts a spin. Like, wait, what were they trying to do? And I'll give you a couple examples here. I noticed with my parents that alcohol was a big deal. Okay? And not only was alcohol a big deal, they took a lot of pride in knowing a little bit about what they were drinking. And this is just one of many things, okay? Oh, yeah, this is Drambuie. It's from Italy, and people like Giulio drink it, whatever. Like there was this like not only we're drinking, look at us drinking. Because, man, you watch movies from like the 50s or 60s. It's still true in a lot of movies. But I just wonder if someone was to do a study, how many movies that have come out in the last 50 years, how many of them have a picture of someone holding a gun in the poster? And don't get started on fucking guns. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, how many of them have somebody holding a gun in the poster? Have you ever noticed? Like, compared to the number of people on the planet holding guns, the number of people holding guns in movie posters is fucking crazy. And similarly, how many people in movies automatically, when they walk in the office, pour a scotch into a glass? You ever notice that? Have a drink. Now listen, I'll have a drink too, but goddamn, it ain't like you walk in the office, there's a drink. Have a drink. So you guys, I see facial, you guys know this. Okay. So I noticed that, like, you know, James Bond, who knows James Bond's favorite drink? Anybody know? Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. They made a big deal out of that shit. So that when we learned how to go to the bar and state ours, we could sound like we know something about it. Look at that. Some kind of pride around drinking. Like, really? Shut up and have a beer, you know? Some people, it's their religion. For some people, every one of us knows one of these people, usually a woman. I'm not being a sexist, but you know the woman who her first topic of conversation is, well, this week the doctor said, da, 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 da. We all know her, don't we? Almost everybody has one of those, okay? Or the one, well, it's all about the Lord. It's not about us. It's about the Lord. Right? We all have a few of those in our lives somewhere, okay? That's what those people are chasing. That's what they're chasing. That's one of the things they're chasing. Now, we dig a little bit deeper. You ever notice any hypocrisy in your parents where they said one thing, they did something else in one or more topics? That would be a good area to say, well, looking at how they did, never notice you had perfect parents, Renita. I would like to trade mine in. But no, actually. So it doesn't matter whether that's a yes or no. Was there any area that you ever noticed that your parents got embarrassed, or where they would kind of like they would like shut down, or they would try to manipulate situations? Like, my parents didn't like sales situations. They were very uncomfortable about sales situations, haggling and that kind of shit. I carried some of that forward. God, if I was around two people haggling, I want to get in between them and like help them stop. Could you just buy the shit and get done so I don't have to feel so uncomfortable? Pride about money, embarrassment about money. Pride about their clothes, embarrassment about their clothes. Pride about their religion, embarrassment about their religion. Anything where they were trying to seem a certain way. You're not running into any of those things, Renita. Okay.
No, I kind of checked all that out. The only thing I could come up with was, I remember, and I never ever heard or saw my parents fight, except for this one time when one of my younger sisters decided to run away. And she didn't run very far. She just went to my aunt and uncle's house. But it was enough that it caused Mom to get really upset with Dad and blame him. But that's all that I can remember of anything where they, disagreed or, anything. I never saw them.
There might be a hint there. There might be a hint there, Renita. So what you could do is say, what did she say she was upset about? What did she, what was the thing? Because she wasn't really upset with him. She was upset about her daughter running away. So there's a clue there. Now, what about this? What did you ever feel pissed off at them about as a kid? Like, that's so unfair.
I guess the one thing I felt was I didn't get enough attention, being there was 7 of us kids.
Okay, so there's things there to find. There's things there to discover. Okay? They obviously were fucking.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to think that about our parents. Yeah, we're like, no, don't want to think that. So,
never even saw them kiss.
Why not?
I don't know. I just assumed that was something you didn't do.
Okay, so they were obviously scooty-gooking in the back room, but up front, they didn't even show that kind of affection?
No,
Did they hug much around you kids?
not that I remember. No.
All right. Anybody starting to see that there might be something there? So they were showing a non-affectionate front. Okay, Jill just typed in a couple things. Were they avoiding conflict? Or were they trying to seem happy? Were they perhaps warring behind the scenes? Or maybe they were actually crazy in love behind the scenes, but out front they didn't show it because of religious reasons. Okay, those are things for you to start to dig into the little corners. And you can do the same question. What have I been missing about my parents that I might wake up to now? You can do the same question that I offered and let that sparkle in. But that gives you enough to get started with. The fact that they were scooty-gooking in the back room. Got 7 kids. Somebody was sticking something somewhere. But out in front, they were not even kissing and hugging. Yeah, I said it, Stacy. And I'll say it again. So you get it, Renita?
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you started. And or were they doing their duty to God by procreating? Now, if they were Catholic, that would be a whole nother possibility. What you got, Andrea?
This line, what came up for me and what really sort of caught my attention was what were my parents embarrassed about, or my family, because I didn't grow up with my dad. So what came up, the first thing that came into my mind was about me. They were embarrassed about me because I came into this life unexpected to my mother, unbeknownst to my mother. And so basically I was an unwanted, expected pregnancy. And in a small rural town in Germany in the 1950s, that was a big fucking deal. And my mom actually spent 6 months of her pregnancy in the US visiting friends. And then she showed up for Christmas at the airport and surprise, surprise, until I was born in March. And then once I dug deeper, and what I've experienced with writing out the questions a page at a time, and then just writing, adding, because I couldn't come up with for some of the ones at first either. I experienced a distilling down process, and what I came up with for what was my family embarrassed about, or my mom embarrassed about, was they weren't embarrassed about me. They were embarrassed about themselves having gotten themselves into that position.
Yes.
And that in itself, I think, removed a layer of shellac from me. And the other big deal that I came up with, that I've discovered, was what have I been chasing? And my distilled down list, the last item on it as of right now is I have been chasing up until now, wanting to be taken care of so I could be safe. So those, and the distilling down has been just by writing and adding to it. Then I had 2 major spell breaks that I did on myself with that. Last night in my sleep, before I fell asleep, I had a big, like an explosion coming out of my head. Like I must have let go of something, significant, if you want to call it that. So, but anyway, the distilling down, I really appreciate. I've had many revelations. I've been working on it almost not nonstop, but as much as I could. So just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to add one thing to what you just said there. So everybody, this is for you. Super awesome. There's really valuable things you said in there. Who here has a suspicion that you might have been an unwanted pregnancy, or at the very least unexpected? Anybody? Okay. Many of us that don't think it were. Okay. Because our parents can't politically correctly say, God, I love you, and I sure didn't fucking want you. Like, that's not very polite. So they're not going to generally offer that. Although on rare occasions, a pissed off or drunk mom will say, I didn't even fucking want you. Okay. So Andrea, this is something I want you to really feel into. And everybody else, let this in. Find your spin on this for you. Andrea, what are the probabilities, possibilities, at the very least, I say probabilities, that during your first 9 months in a body, before you came out of mama, that you were inundated with feelings of embarrassment and shame that you knew were directed at you? Your mom's going around embarrassed and ashamed of herself, almost definitely with some Catholic, influence, whether she was Catholic or not, in Catholic influenced. Oh shit, I'm a slut. I'm going to be seen as a whore. I'm bad. I should be ashamed. I've got a baby here and I'm not supposed to. And guess who was the fucking baby in question? So the signals are coming at me. I'm causing mom embarrassment. I'm causing mom shame. Mom's hiding because of me. Mom is squeezing me away so people don't know that I'm in here. Oh, that wouldn't affect us at all. Now, we are not supposed to be talking about this stuff, are we? Couldn't we just have a nice self-help conversation? No. Any of you who ever have felt unwanted, undeserving, unwanted? Oh, look at the hands going up. All right, now I'm coming up on 2 hours, guys. I'm going to go a little bit further. What you got, Nina?
Oh, I was saying that I felt like, I used to feel like I used to think, Mommy, why did you want me? I mean, if I'm such a burden and such, if I'm so much trouble to you that you're so angry at me all the time, I never understood. Why did you want me? Why did you want any of us?
Okay, and Nina, let me jump in before I go. Whoever, I saw a couple more hands. Listen to this, guys, girls. Do you know that there were times when you were in the womb and during your first 3 years that you were fucking unwanted? Do you know that? Do you know? Come on. You ever been, any of you guys parents? Did you find rainbows and sunshine every fucking minute with your kid? Oh, they're pissing in your face. You're trying to change their fucking diaper and they're pissing on you. Oh, you little fucker. I mean, to not ever be irritated with your kid, you are superhuman or you need fucking medicine. Okay? Like, really, I am 99.9% sure that my dad tried to kill me at least twice or physically got very close to it, suffocating me with a pillow. Shit like that. Okay? And we get all outraged. Oh, it's so horrific. You ever been a parent? God damn. How can you be a parent and not have minutes when you wish that little fucker didn't exist because you're too tired? You're just too stressed. You're just too whatever, okay? I know I'm not supposed to say that. I don't care. So you were unwanted sometimes, Buttercup. And sometimes it was violent. Yep. And then the fact that we made our parents so that we could suffer in the first place. What I'm really proposing, boys and girls, aliens all, is that we just wake up a little bit and we look in these areas that everybody tells us to never look so that we can wake up. Got it, Stacy. And then, okay, so look, and then we take this personally. We take it all personally. We take what our kids did personally. We take what our parents did personally. None of it was about you. And of course, all of it was about you because you're the only one here. But none of it was about you personally. So as long as we're hiding from this and avoiding this, we're not going to, quote, heal from it. Anybody with a chronic illness, you just still haven't let in that you deserve to be here. We opened up the can of worms and maggots and rainbows in this conversation. Dad tried to get rid of me when my mom was pregnant. You're not the only one, Karen. You're not the only one. The number of dads who accidentally put an elbow to the belly, we're not supposed to talk about that because it's just too horrific. No, it isn't. It's human. I'm not proud of it. I am not proud of it. And listen, you guys have seen me. I love my kids like nobody has ever loved their kids. I love my kids. And there's been moments when I wish those little fuckers weren't here. Very angrily, very violently. Because you can only take as much as you can take based on wherever you are in your emotional stability. Now, I know damn well when I raised my voice at my kids like I was a fucking demon when they were 3 years old, I know that was hugely upsetting to them. And I'm so sorry, and I could not have done any different. And neither could your dad, neither could your grandpa. All of us crazy fucks were doing our best every minute, every situation that we were ever in. Unless your dad was Jesus. And then I reckon you'd have to live without having a mother. That was a terrible joke. So you guys willing to spend this next week really becoming aware and breathing? Breathing is the priority here. I'm having us look down the corridors that we don't want to look down on purpose because we're going to find out they ain't that bad. Once we get on the other, it ain't that bad. I mean, I am really 99% sure my dad tried to kill me a couple of times. Guess what? Big fucking deal. The minute I really let that in, it's not that big of a deal. It's only when I'm in denial. Oh, that shouldn't be. It's so whatever. Fuck you. I'm still here, Dad. And thank you for that experience so I could be aware of what I'm aware of now. Renita, dig deep. Dig deep. Rich had a little hard time. He's not near as full of shit as he used to be. It's not near as obvious. It's more subtle. So he's going to have to go deeper and quieter into himself to find the areas where he has still been chasing. Similarly, you had a little more peaceful childhood than some of us. However, there's stuff there. You just be willing to dig and be quiet and ask the questions in silence and say, you know what, I'm willing to let the answers come in. Then you go for a walk or a long bath and see what does come through, okay? And give it days if necessary. What have I been chasing? What have I been trying to do? What have I been trying to avoid? What have I been avoiding? What have I been avoiding noticing that I was avoiding? These are the questions that are going to bring the light into those little corners. And I'm glad now that we actually went extra because I want to add one more thing. I alluded to this last week. I don't want to allude. I'm going to make it super explicit. Everybody, here's what I want you to do before you start your home play. I want you to write these 2 questions down, and I want you to really feel it as an intention. How much more of myself can I regain? And how much more of not me can I really let go of? That's the intention. We're going to set that as our intention for all of this home play. How much more of the real me can I let back in? How much more can I gain and allow? And how much more not me can I finally let go of and just let it go? Okay? And you know what else? I like this. So Stacy, I've noticed a couple of people typing things in. Listen, let's do something a little bit unusual this week. How about this, guys? So Stacy just put in for Renita, something around communication and sharing the truth around feelings. Now, I'm not going to linger here. I'm going to say this. Renita, you know, we worked on some of that, and you know that has been a thing, this not saying things. You know what, I'll just let it be the way it is because I don't want to stir up the horn. Yeah, fucking stir up the hornet's nest. So not speaking the truth about our feelings. Okay, so check this out. Everybody else, while you're watching this replay, everybody feel free to watch the faces on the replay and then go into the Freedom7 group on Facebook and comment. If you think you have something for Julio, say, Julio, you could ask a question about blank. For Anita, for Jill. Oh, you know what? I think I just got this intuition. You could ask a question about blank. And let's support each other in looking at these things. And we'll contemplate those questions together over the course of the next week, and we'll discuss all of it on the next session. I like that. All right, you guys, I love you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. There never was. Just keep breathing and understand that every exhale, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you even mean to or not, every exhale lets a little bit of emotion go, especially if you let it go. Like Andrea just did. Love you guys. Best week ever of waking up. And I'll see you there next week. Aloha.